Okay, so if you're trying to overcome social anxiety, this is probably the most important thing to remember. And that's to ignore people who say that you can't do it. A lot of times I see comments online, or I'll be commenting on YouTube, I'll be commenting on Facebook, whatever. And I'll mention I overcame social anxiety. And you'll see other people saying this. You'll see other people saying, yeah, they started putting themselves in more social situations, they did some other things, and now they're comfortable, or they're more comfortable in social situations, they have less anxiety. And they've overcome that social anxiety that they used to feel. And then you'll see comments where people try to dispute that these people's claims and like my claims. And on one hand, it's like, okay, fair enough. If somebody's saying, hey, you never had social anxiety because I can't overcome social anxiety. Like, I've tried what you've tried and it didn't work for me. It's like, on one hand, it's like, okay, well, I don't know your own experience. Everybody has their own unique experience. But on the other hand, if you actually want to overcome social anxiety and you believe that you can overcome social anxiety, you can't listen to these people. You can't listen to people that are saying, yo, if you overcame social anxiety, you never had social anxiety. Like, I have social anxiety and I can't overcome it, therefore you've never overcome it. If you listen to people that say that, you're never gonna overcome social anxiety, because you're just gonna be hanging around with people who don't want to change. You have to understand that people that say things like that, people that say things like, no, you're wrong, you never overcame social anxiety, that's false, you can't overcome social anxiety like that, you never had it. People that say that stuff just want to hold on to their beliefs. They don't want to change. They want to get into a group and start a pity party. And they just want to hold on to their beliefs. They want other people to also confirm their beliefs. They want other people to be in there going, yeah, social anxiety sucks. You can never overcome it. It's horrible. I have to live with it for the rest of my life. So if you are actually going to overcome social anxiety, you have to not listen to these people. You have to stop listening to these people. And you have to actually believe that you can overcome social anxiety. And how do you do that? You listen to other people who said that they have overcome it. You listen to what they did, and you start implementing some of the things that they did to overcome social anxiety, and see what works for you. But really, really listen to these people that say they have overcome it. Because if you're constantly putting yourself around people who just want to hang on to that belief of, oh, I'm never gonna change, then what do you expect? You're around those people all the time, and are you gonna believe what they believe? Or are you gonna put yourself around people who actually have changed, so that you can start, like I said, implementing some of the things that they've implemented and start overcoming social anxiety for yourself? The main thing about this first point is that you have to understand these people don't want to change. People that say that they can't overcome social anxiety, you never had social anxiety if you overcame it, or overcame it that easily. Even though it's, for me personally, it wasn't actually that easy, but now that I can say, oh, I overcame it, like, the solution's kind of simple. So I'm gonna talk about some of the things that helped me personally overcome social anxiety right now. Oh man. So one of the first things that you have to do, and you have to do this if you're gonna overcome social anxiety, you have to put yourself in social situations. And I know that sounds really, really scary when you have social anxiety. It sounds horrible. Like, why can't there be a way where you can just sit there and think your way out of it, or meditate your way out of it, or something? Well, if you want to get more confident in social situations, if you want to lessen the anxiety that you have in social situations, there's no way around actually putting yourself in social situations. I'm going to talk about one more thing, or one more strategy you can implement besides just this, but when you're trying to overcome any kind of fear, if it's a fear of social situations or a fear of anything really, you have to put yourself in front of that thing and face it. And one way that you can do this to where it's not going to make you totally freak out is you can put yourself in small social situations. That's exactly what I did when I started. I think the first thing that I ever did in order to overcome my social anxiety was I paid for a packet of gum at like a pharmacy or a small store, like a drugstore or something. And the girl behind the counter was taking my money, or I was exchanging money with her for the pack of gum that I was buying. And I forced myself to say, so where are you from? And then she told me where she was from, where she's going to college, and she just started talking to me. And it was a really cool experience because I was so afraid to ask something beyond the usual, hey, how's it going? Cool. Have a good day. Or even, saying nothing, just exchanging money, hi, and then just leaving the store like I usually do, or like I usually did. But, at this time I asked a question that was a little bit more personal, where are you from? And she just told me, and the interaction turned out well. And after that, I just started speaking up more. I actually started approaching girls on my college campus. That's, if you've seen any of my other videos on this channel, you might have heard me talk about that. And that was something that really helped me. Just little short interactions where I would say, hey, how's it going? You look really nice today. Anyways, have a nice day. Things like that. Just handing out compliments to people really helps me. So putting yourself in social situations, whether it's going to that party or, approaching people and saying hi to them like I did, no matter what you're doing, you have to get used to being in social situations. There's no way around that. If you want to overcome this, if you want to be confident in social situations, you have to be in social situations. One thing that I learned from a mentor recently was the opposite of addiction is companionship or something like that. Or connection is the opposite of addiction. So it's likely that if you avoid parties and instead you go on like YouTube binges, or like you binge on social media, like scrolling or something like that, or you have some kind of like addiction, the opposite of that is human connection. It's not just putting down the phone, it's not just like getting rid of that stuff, it's actually human connection. If you can start connecting with humans, you can start getting the bad stuff, or the stuff that kind of drains you out of your life, and you can start just getting used to being around people. So in addition to putting yourself around the right people and avoiding anybody who's negative, and just focusing on people who have actually overcome social anxiety and who are actually positive and believe that you can overcome this, in addition to putting yourself around people like that, and also just putting yourself in more social situations, my last tip is to, and this really worked for me, was actually putting yourself in social situations, but actually making yourself say what you want to say. See, even now I'm like, oh man, this is going on YouTube. Am I speaking clearly enough? Like, is what I'm saying going to be good enough? You have to make yourself say those things so that over time you get more comfortable just speaking your mind. If you're in a social situation, like you're hanging out, even with your close friends, like I used to be really shy around my close friends. I used to think they were going to judge me for certain things. If I tried to make a joke, or if I tried to tell a story, or if I had a thought, an opinion, I was afraid to say it because I was afraid of what they were going to think of me. But as I started making myself say those things, like if I thought of a funny thing, instead of just keeping it inside, if I was just like, yeah, and just said the joke, then I noticed, sometimes people laugh, sometimes people would not, whatever. I mean, as long as I was saying it, over time, I started to get more comfortable just speaking my mind and just speaking my opinions. I almost had to force it at the beginning until it became a habit. So for this last tip, it's really about being yourself. You have to be yourself. Because if you're just putting yourself in social situations and you're putting on this false persona, maybe putting on a fake smile or trying to act cooler than you are, that'll get you pretty far, because you're still putting yourself in social situations, and that got me pretty far. But ultimately, you should combine it with stating your opinions when you want to state an opinion. Just little bits at a time. When an opinion comes in your mind, instead of holding it back because you're afraid of what people are going to think of you, say it. And over time, you're gonna get more comfortable with it. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it's very, very helpful for you. It's kind of a rainy day, so I was cleaning my house or my apartment, and I was doing the dishes, and I just thought this would be a really good idea for a video. I just got the idea for it, and I wanted to share some of my experience and what I think is really, really important for overcoming social anxiety. So, peace. If you like this video, leave a comment, leave something. Ignore the naysayers in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace.